Problematic Podcast, the worst advice show ever. This is not for losers and whiners looking for an answer to their problems or perceived problems. This is a talk show for thinking outside the box, trying a new route, using common sense, getting things done, not following the rules, and definitely not being a cookie cutter.
And Mr. Riffraff, Dale D'Antoni, the Pastel Prince. And you're listening to The Problem Addict, the worst advice show ever. Dance right.
Hello, I'm Conrad Bain. Tonight on
The Problematic Podcast,
we're starting a special two-part show on a very sensitive and important subject. Now, we urge families, children, and parents alike to watch both of these informative episodes and then to discuss the problem presented, which is of deep concern to all of us.
Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some.
nobody starts playing basketball like, I'm going to be Luke Longley.
No.
You always start playing ball, be like, I'm going to be like Mike.
No, yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
Which was a great movie.
But, yeah, shout out, dude.
That was one of those...
Calvin Coolidge,
Yeah.
wasn't his name?
No.
Or was that a president?
No, that wasn't a president. No. Calvin, I can't remember his name.
It's like Woodridge or something.
That was a what if movie. That was one of those things that I would daydream about and just go, man, that'd be dope. That and Clock Stoppers. Do you remember that movie?
I do, dude. Oh, whoa.
French
You're
Stewart was
about
in
to.
that, yeah.
Whoa, French Stewart?
Yeah.
Do a French Stewart face impression right now. Beautiful. Nailing it. Dude, you're hitting on something that I feel like a lot of kids, like in our generation.
Clock Stoppers, yeah.
Clock Stoppers was huge.
How old are you?
31.
Yeah, I'm 29. I'm 30 soon in October.
Yeah, so like that was always like the fantasy everybody had.
Yep.
And
Squeezing boobies at school.
Well, I would just like to say I would use my Clock Stopper privileges for feeding the homeless, but
oh man, if they
I
had big titties, if those homeless had huge tits, I'd beat them. I'd be like, hold on, ma'am or sir, whatever, dude. As long as you got some warlocks bubbling up under the surface.
Oh, I like warlocks for boobs.
Yeah,
That's
warlocks.
nice.
Warlocks is good.
They're enchanting.
Yeah.
Dude, but
They'll
that
put a
is
spell on you.
Nobody wants to talk about how that was like that for being, however old we were when that came out. That
Dude,
was like
that had to be. I had to be like, I want to say it's like a 2000s movie, early like 2001 or 2.
I think it's got to be about right. I think like 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah,
Just when you're really starting to get into girls.
dude. And I had spam, and so I saw that like 7th or 8th grade. So for like maybe for 4 years, that was like a. If I saw a hot girl, I was like, man, I would just click and then just go, nothing. I would not insert.
No, you
I
just
would
hold their hand and like
and then slap their boobies around a little bit.
over
the
but like
shirt.
not as yeah.
And if it's
as a funny bit.
Here's the thing: I like to objectify men too. I think it's really funny to see a hot guy. So if for some reason, there was like
just to see them.
yeah, dude, I start laughing when I see a guy that's too good looking. I'm like, just look at you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Dude, I'm just like, or a buff guy. Buff guys are hilarious to me. I'm just like, did it pay off? Did it work?
You were just watching the movie 300, just dying in the aisles. Like,
dude.
these guys are so buff.
I know, dude. Dude, it's just funny to me. Not like, like skinny, but like buff. The buffness thing is like the big buff, like just real buff, where your like hands have limited range of motion.
Oh yeah,
it's like, dude, why did you do this to like block up a doorway?
No, like Rich Piana. You know that guy?
No.
Oh man, yeah, he was just like.
I thought you said somebody else.
Oh no, yeah, he was
Pio
just.
or what's the little like he's like a Dominican dude that's like on he was on Vines and he looks like he
was on Vines.
Yeah, he looks like the clip.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in the jungle,
he
dude.
was swinging around. That's why I said Dominican and not black.
Yeah.
I think he's black. No.
Oh, was that Rudy Mancuso kid?
No, that's Daniel LaRusso.
Oh,
He won the all county karate tournament. That's
nice.
Karate Kid.
Nice, dude. I like it. I'm with you.
I just flipped it. Where were we before?
I'm glad that we were, and you know what? Maybe people are gonna use this against us and say that we're being, I mean, I hate to say this, but problematic.
Sure.
But if
is that what the name means?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a pun.
Yeah, I just didn't know. And
No,
I'm
I
like,
should
that's
be
a
shot
No, that's
to
a
death.
processing face. That's not a judgment face. That's just like I'm slow reacting, so I was like, that holds up. I was like, you said no math, but I had to bring a little mental math.
Oh
into it.
yeah,
I'm
that's
so
true.
sorry.
That was the warning at the beginning. Is just immediately no math.
Zach's like, look, no chestnuts, no politics, and limited math. Keep it to yourself and keep it internal, like a scratch sheet during a test.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Of course.
More math references. I just brought up a scratch sheet.
Oh, you son of a bitch, dude.
I'm just protractoring right now.
Oh, Doug, get out, dude.
Math models.
Oh, shout out to math models.
Yeah.
Did you have to take math models?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
I loved math models.
And then again in summer school, and I was just like, man, like there's some twins, and only one of the twin was in math models with me twice, and the other one was like in
Ooh.
algebra 2, and I was just
man.
I was like, man, I bet things are rough at home.
yeah, for one of you.
Yo, dude, so there's you can edit out like specific stuff, right? Or just bleep
I can.
it out?
I've never done it before.
Okay, well, either way, so I'll trim it, and it's a quick thing. But,
Okay.
There's like a Houston comic who his brother he created a HBO series.
Whoa. Wait.
So I'll get there.
Okay.
So his brother wrote.
Oh, I think I know.
His brother wrote, and everything, like 3 seasons of an HBO series.
Okay.
And so his brother, the guy that's a Houston comic, and I think he moved to Colorado and then he moved back. I don't know if he's doing comedy right now, but he is a nice guy.
Nice.
And so, dude, I told him, I was like, yo, instead of doing, that Frasier theme song joke, you should do a joke about how hard Thanksgiving dinner is.
Yeah.
When all you have to talk about is updates on your Frasier theme song joke. And every year he's coming back with a new season of an HBO show.
Oh my God. Can you imagine, dude?
Not meta enough, not aware enough to make that. He's like, no, that'd be stupid. I was like, all right.
Or just, also,
I wouldn't want people to know that my brother's like a famous creator of an HBO series.
Yeah.
But you could craft a joke some way around that.
There's actually a name for feeling like that. It's called Cooper Manning's disease.
Yeah, he is.
Boom.
I wonder if he was like talented at all.
He was. He got a scholarship to Ole Miss.
He was he was a receiver, right?
No, he's a quarterback.
But he was sick.
There's something wrong with his spine. He had like spinal bifida, which I don't think is true, but I just love saying.
Yeah, no, I think spinal bifida verbally speaking,
fire, dude.
Yeah, it's good. What does it make me think of? Just because of Biff, it makes me think of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Hey, McFly, I told you, straighten your spine out.
Posture's important,
Yeah,
dude.
it's the most important.
Now, where's your mom?
She's in. Hold on.
No, I mean from Back to the Future. Wasn't somebody trying to fuck somebody's mom?
Yeah, dude, and I saw a great maybe College Humor video where it was like Marty McFly, he instead of like getting interrupted by like when he's like his mom starts making out with him.
Oh yeah.
He actually fucks her. And
Oh,
then he goes and
jeez.
tells Doc Brown, he's like, I did it. And he's like, all right, we'll have to send you back in time again to interrupt it. And then like he goes back to interrupt himself having sex with his mom, and then he joins.
Oh, yeah.
And so like they bang the mom and they both go back and talk to Doc Brown. And it ends up being like 5 Marty McFlys with his mom. like a great premise.
I love how you said College Humor when we all know it was Pornhub.
It was Pornhub, and there was no comedic arc to it.
Oh, nice.
Dude, I saw one thumbnail, and then you're gonna have to stop me because I just always everything I think of.
No, I have a passion about thumbnails.
Yeah, the
So this is good.
human thumbnails.
yeah.
I will be needing a little sample from you when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
gone.
If you don't mind.
I only have 2. I guess take them both. I don't want to look weird with one bloody thumb.
Oh yeah. How are you gonna hitchhike?
Yeah, nobody's gonna let you. And your thumb has to be pretty good looking.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Why did I bring up the?
We're talking about Marty McFly gangbang pornography.
It was after that.
Fuck. I derailed. That was me, dude. I derailed you.
Hold on, let's play it back.
Because of my because of my passionate thumbnails. I'm a passionate
thumbnail.
guy.
I saw a thumbnail.
Oh,
the
there we
keyword.
go.
The keyword.
There we go.
Two
We'll get there, buddy.
Compound words are keyword and thumbnail.
Okay, nice.
Um,
Very smart.
A porn thumbnail I saw one time was like hot chick in the fight of her life. That was the caption, and the actual picture was like this chick.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was this chick with boxing gloves on, and she was topless, and she was stacked, big old boobies.
Okay,
So
respect.
I was like, I guess her coach fucks her, and then like when it flashes to the next thumbnail to preview, it's like a dude fighting her, and he's in full like protective gear, and like I was like, what happens? Do they like?
Oh my
Do they stop sparring and fuck? And so I clicked on it, and it was he was not pulling punches.
No, really?
It ended up in sex, but like it was a 3-minute clip that the one that I clicked on, and the first 30 seconds were like, it felt like they were like, let's make this look real.
Oh my God, he was like fighting her.
I don't know. It just seemed very aggressive, and she again just had oversized clownish boxing gloves on, like sock and boppers.
Oh my God!
It was like she had sock and boppers on and no helmet, and she was just tits out, and she's like, ah, like if you put a ring girl, some big clown gloves on her, and then it was like this dude that was like,
oh wow,
like
yeah, he was doing the
boxing.
sounds.
Yeah, he was just like, I was just like,
man.
what is who's this for?
Yo, that's fantastic. This for me, I
Disgraced
thought it was pretty
boxing
funny.
coaches. Look, you can't. I get that you're the coach, but you can't just punch the bitch. You can't get him naked,
Dude, yeah, you can't. Yeah.
It's fucking.
Also, wear your gloves, dude. You're coming out here bare fist.
I know,
What is
yeah,
that?
He just taped fists.
Yeah, dude.
He's like, I put a thumbtack under my.
What are you, an Irish pikey? You come out here?
Yeah, snatch.
Yeah, dude.
That's an accent that you kind of. Is that pikey?
No, that's more Welsh, I think.
That's a Welsh accent.
Yeah, the pikey one is difficult. Have you ever seen that movie, that
Snatch?
documentary? No. Wait, was Snatch not a documentary? I'm kidding.
I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah. No, it's called I think it's called Knuckle. And it's about those like the they call themselves travelers. And it's like the traveler, the
Irish
gypsy,
gypsies.
Yeah.
You can say gypsies.
Well, I was
Just
respecting them.
Just don't say gyp. Just
Listen.
don't be like, hey, you gypped me on that.
I'll tell you this, once you've seen them bare knuckle fight each other, you'll never call them that again.
Those are only the strongest ones from each village. Dude,
literally.
the average gypsy, I think you could be like, hey, Ramadan, where's the TVs? None of that made sense, but I felt like it flowed nicely.
Ramadan.
Where the TVs at?
Oh, dude, it was just these two families, though. It was like the Joyces versus the Quinn McDonoughs. And they would make.
I don't even know that reference, but I know Quinn McDonough is a funny name.
It's their
Is it a
actual
guy?
name. Yeah, it's their whole family, and they're Irish gypsies.
Oh, okay.
So they they do nothing but pop out babies, and they're Catholic, and they they fight and they make like 1999 hip hop style videos calling each other out.
So it's like
There's like Big Joe Joyce.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
great, dude.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It seems like what you're describing, those types of pikey neighborhoods seem like meth neighborhoods in America without
dude,
drugs.
yeah.
Just like bad genetics.
Absolutely,
led to this.
dude.
Like no meth has been released in this area, but there's still like, drink like fucking with car batteries all day. And
Yes.
shit like that.
Aren't rednecks always doing car things?
Yeah, it's weird, dude. I mean, well,
I was talking about that with Grady when he was here.
because redneck. I want to believe that the redneck evolved from the cowboy.
oh, this is great. Okay.
So
All right.
I feel like I want to give the redneck that sort of credit and say that horses to
to cars.
yeah.
Sure.
So they're like shh, 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 shh.
Yeah, dude.
And then one day the dad was like, "We don't have to do that anymore, but we're going to."
Oh my God. And it's horsepower as well. That's a nice.
Dude, I never I don't
That's
know how
great.
to do. I don't know how to do shit on cars. And I
Me
remember,
neither, dude.
though every time I saw my dad, he was always like the few times like he would pop in, he's like, I'm working on a Crown Victoria. Just got to use Crown Vic. I was like, I don't know what that means. and then like every time I'd see him, he's like, I was like, did you get that thing fixed? He's like, he picked me up in a Crown Victoria. I was like, you got it fixed. And I was real young, and he's like, no, this is a different one I fixed up.
Oh man, dude.
I was like, why do you have police auctions? I suppose.
Oh fuck. Actually, you know what, dude? I'm gonna derail us on purpose, and actually, I'm gonna play this. Hey, man. What's up, buddy? Seems like, it seems like you might have a couple of problems. I think we could probably solve them. That part's not, I don't think that's true at all. That's not true. What, do you think this was the, answer seller? I got news for you. It's the problematic. Oh, brother. So why don't you come on in, or come on up, I should say. It's the problematic. Seriously, though.
What's your fucking problem, man?
So, usually I ask people, if they have a problem they'd like to discuss on the show. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything you that's been on your mind lately, or anything that's been going on?
Yeah, I have a real problem with Japanese people.
Not. Oh, really? In general? Oh, man.
No, it's funny because a little backstory. We agreed, we had talked about me coming to San Antonio to do your podcast, and I had no idea what it was about. I was just like, yeah, I'm a song and dance man. I can go, zip up and let it out.
Confirmed song and dance guy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm I'm a showbiz wizard, baby.
Oh, nice.
I'm all about the glitz and glam.
Oh, really? Yeah, both of them.
The lights are bright on me.
Yeah.
No. So I had no idea what I was coming for, and then you messaged me, I think last night, and you were like, "Hey, you're like, if you have any problem you'd like to discuss, just you have that ready." And I was like, weirdly enough, the night before so 3 nights ago, I was like, I just had this moment where I decided I was gonna go try to find my dad.
Wow.
And I haven't seen him but a few times. I think I haven't seen him since I was 10 years old. And it was something I kind of decided in the middle of the night under lots of Adderall and marijuana. But I came to the point where I was like, I need to go, sort of confront him and see.
So it's a confronting.
No, I mean, I'm
not physically, but it's
that's always before I was when I was angry still about it.
Yeah.
I always imagined showing up wherever he was at his apartment or whatever. It'd be 3 p.m. on a Tuesday because neither of us have jobs.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I was but I one time in Corpus before I moved to Houston, right before I decided to do stand up, maybe 2 weeks before I decided to it was the same thing as 2 nights ago. I had this moment where I was like, I just have to do it.
Yeah.
It was very emotional when I did stand up. When I first decided to do stand up, because I was just at this point in my life where I was tired of being afraid and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I literally pushed myself off a mental cliff to get there. And so that was the same thing. But the funny thing is, right before I decided that I was going to do stand up, this is 5 years ago, I was driving in Corpus, and I was driving down the street, and this fucking guy cuts me off, and I was like, well, this fucking asshole. And as he's cutting me off, it's a 4-way intersection. I got to the stop sign first, but he still went past me.
Yeah.
He rolled past me, and I was like, oh, that's my dad. That's
No.
yeah. I was like, we're both dicks.
Whoa.
Driving around, but and I didn't really think I was in that moment. I was like, I could have easily followed him because he was going to these apartments down the street that I later found out from my cousin that lives there. My only family member that lives in Corpus besides my dad. He teaches at the university out there, and he's like, yeah, I saw your dad. And I was like, and his wife. And I didn't know my dad was married. So he's like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, I saw your dad. And I was still afraid to confront it. So I when I saw him in traffic and when I found out that he did live in those apartments, I still wanted nothing to do with it because it was very afraid to to confront that.
Of course, dude.
In the sense of I think if I had done it then, I would have been very forgiving, and I would have looked at it okay, cool, dad's back. Whereas now it's I've gone through issues with my mom and having to take care of her and shit like that, where I'm a lot more aware of you know, I don't even know what I'd be like, you know, confronting him. I have no idea what the guy's like. Like, I feel like it would be wrong to go in blazing fists when I don't know.
Sure.
Like, he could be a moron. He could be just like a dumb guy, or he could be like,
Wow, yeah.
he could be a dick, or he could be a nice guy. It's like, I have to, like, this is something I have to go into, not thinking like,
no preconceived.
not really, because
Yeah.
it was like, it was just like, I talked to him on the phone a few times up until I was 10, and he was in my life off and on, and then I haven't talked to him since then. So it's like, I don't talk like, and it took me a while to kind of get over my childhood and mature up
Yeah.
and really be able to look at it, you know, without, you know, looking at it without bending the narrative or making it seem like it wasn't what it was or something like
Or
that.
just being upset.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, righteously upset. I don't think
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, and so I don't know, that's my main thing, the uncertainty of it, besides like the loose. I don't even know if he still lives there. But I need to like that's my first thought, is like, I couldn't go in there swinging, because again, what if he's just like, I don't even know. I've never heard his side of the story. Why he left, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
I know my mom, and I know my mom is very, very difficult, you know, due to a lot of issues. My mom's bipolar, and she's the sweetest woman in the world, but she's also very, very complicated.
Sure.
And so, but my dad could be a piece of shit, or he could be a great guy. So it's like, I'm going into it with a total, like, I'm going to have to be a salesman. I'm going to have to go in there and like judge it first. And then I'm
Yeah.
be like, why didn't you?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
totally. So I have a few questions.
No, this is it.
Okay, all right, we're leaving now.
You guys have been on
Okay.
the problematique
Great.
antique.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. So
Yeah, go ahead.
number one is obviously Corpus isn't that big,
Dude, okay. Go
right?
ahead. Go
So,
ahead.
like,
that's a funny thing, actually.
yeah, like how, like that's got to factor into it for you too, where you're just like, dude, it's not like you were far away.
So a friend of ours, Radu.
Yeah.
Radu Bondar. He actually was like, I was telling him about my dad one time, and he's like, where does he live? And I was like, he lives in Corpus. And he's like, so he like left you and your mom, and he just moved somewhere in the same town, like not even to another family, just
Right.
like
Right.
and it was like, I was like, yeah, I never thought of it that way. That's hilarious that he wasn't like, it wasn't a mistress thing. He just like moved to a different part of a small town. And like, but he was also, growing up, he was like, if we were in Houston, he was down there. If we were in Corpus, he was here, or in Dallas, like wherever he was getting work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, he doesn't know this is happening, or did you reach out to him?
No.
Okay.
I had to kind of force myself to do it. I mean, like, even today, like getting here, I was apprehensive in no way. It was I ended up,
Nice.
I was planning on coming in at noon, but I ended up drinking way too much coffee last night and didn't go to sleep until like 7
Yeah.
this morning.
Sure.
So I was like, I woke up, and then I took like 5 shits. That's why I had to stop 3 times.
Respect, dude.
Dude, I like each half an Adderall was a shit. I popped that
Nice,
thing.
dude.
I popped one when I walked into Buc-ee's and went in and peed, and then I got out to the car, and that's when I texted you, and I was about to pull out, and I was like,
Oh no!
went back in and
Is
pooped.
that the worst, dude?
Yeah, dude. And
That's
I,
the worst.
Like, I had to like walk, because like the first time you're really stoned walking through a Buc-ee's, you can kind of appreciate it. It's like a Walgreens in a convenience store. It's like the cool stuff from a Walgreens with a convenience store.
Yeah.
You can get sharper image shit there.
Oh, dude.
There's
yeah.
like an Oakley's section.
Yeah, dude.
That's what security at a Buc-ee's is. It's just like an undercover family in the Oakley's section, waiting for you to try on a pair of glasses.
Just in tie-dye shirts.
Yeah, some 4-year-old trying out a squirt gun.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so I was like, I have no apprehension in confronting this, because doing comedy was the scariest thing in my life, because my biggest thing about starting comedy was, what if I'm not funny? And my whole identity, as you can agree, is very, like you say, very quick-witted
Sure.
and making people laugh. And
Yeah.
it's not something I really even realized was something that people don't do. And
Yeah.
so it's like,
You're putting your identity Up for steak.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
Yeah. So
Damn.
Why did I bring that up?
That's you. Well, I was asking if he knew,
Oh yeah. So
if he's aware.
So yeah, the whole thing is like a few years ago, I probably wouldn't have done it. Now it's like the reason I'm not trying to reach out beforehand is like I just need to jump off the cliff like I did with stand up.
Sure.
And it's like now I know that's just like a move in my life belt now. It's like that was a very clear moment where I made a decision.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy that's very indecisive and unopinionated for the fact of, being scared of what people think of.
Of course. Yeah, I think that's pretty normal.
Yeah, no, it's just me. Don't take my
Please do
problems away from me, okay? I'm the only person that's ever had this.
I think that's a great skill to have, though, to trust yourself and be like, look, I know I'm going to jump off and do this. And
Sure.
I can do that.
Well, it's so like really young. I would go to long story short, I would go to a church camp. It was Methodist, so it wasn't very serious, but
Okay.
it was that's another conversation.
Nice.
And so there was this place called Blue Hole with this huge cliff, and everybody would jump on it or jump off of it. And so it's like on the bus ride up there, I'd heard about like people not jumping off because they were scared.
Yeah.
And right when I heard that, I was like, I'm doing it.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So that's sort of the same mentality with this, like
oh,
that,
1,000%.
yeah. So like you take that, it's the same when, no comedy, but like when you write a joke or something, now you know how you wrote that joke. It's sort of a little casts, that they can be molded to, and you know how to do that type of joke. It's like
Of course,
that bold moment, those types of bold moments, I've always been like, do it or look like a bitch.
Yeah.
And so that's honestly why I told you when I told you, because I was like, I'm not gonna look like it. I'm just not gonna be the guy that decides to do this and then not do it. So it's like texting you, and then I called my other buddy, and I was like, I guess that gave me more reason. Like, oh, people know now, so you're gonna look stupid.
I mean, unless you reach out and be like, hey, I actually don't want that to come out, then I would obviously listen to you. But you seem
that's why I was open with it.
Yeah, you seem pretty steadfast.
Yeah, I'm not as apprehensive about it, and I'm not expecting to go and have a catch.
Well,
But
that
I brought my glove though.
Oh, nice.
I did bring a copy of Field of Dreams. We'll just talk. Dude, that's funny. We end up tossing a copy of Field of Dreams. Like I don't have baseball gloves, but here's this, and just like tossing a Blu-ray like frisbee
that's
style.
Nice. And then you go, wait, hold on. And you go to your car stereo and you just start playing The Cat's in the Cradle with this.
Yeah, and then Kevin Costner actually comes out and sits and watches us.
Man. Just old Kevin Costner.
And young Kevin Costner, and he starts playing catch with himself.
Nice.
That's funny though.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I was going to ask you, one of the questions I wanted to ask is, what's best case? Have you even thought about that? Do you even want to think about that?
Like I said, I mean, I didn't know. I mean,
I don't. And if you don't want to think about it, don't think about it.
No. It's one of those things where, with the nature of the whole thing, jumping off a cliff already.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like I calculated everything beforehand. I was just like, I know I'll survive one way or another. So that's kind of how this is. It's like, what was your question?
Best case. Do you have a best case?
Yeah. So I mean, no, I mean, it's not something I've really thought about. It's just one of those things that, I'm more sure of who I am now than I was like when I was younger. So it's like, I know going into a job interview that I don't need to prepare anything besides like my paperwork, because I'm going to be able to kill it.
Yeah,
you are who you are.
You put a lot of work into being who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And so with my dad, it's same thing. It just moves out. You just take that simple base idea of that action, and that's how I'm applying it. Without thinking about all of this, I just do it.
Yeah,
and then
of course,
that's why I'm not able to really flow out what I'm doing. But yeah, so it's like I don't think anything. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know I can handle it. Like if he's a dick, I know I'm quicker than he is. So,
Yeah,
So it's like
well.
I can be a dick so much better
Yeah,
than you can.
that'd be-
So that's not anything. I'm not afraid of anything verbally.
Yeah.
It's not like with some people's dad where they're like the booming sound of their father's voice, even when their 70-year-old man just scares the shit out of them.
Right.
Not that situation.
No,
He
that's
wasn't
actually your
abusive.
wheelhouse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That would be a.
Yeah.
Can I just
Him
say
heckling me?
huge mistake for you, buddy.
I know, dude. I'm gonna make, dude, he's not even a war veteran, but if he lived through war and didn't kill himself, what I'm about to say to you is gonna make you
Yeah.
want to kill yourself. You
Respect.
draft dodging hippie.
Oh, nice.
But see, if he was, but again, maybe I wouldn't be a dick, but it's like he would have to be pretty over the top for me to start, roasting him.
Yeah. Oh,
In
man.
front of his
dude.
new wife.
Oh, my God.
What's that, a beagle? Get that dog out here. Get that gay little dog out here.
Is that a beagle, you hack?
he's like, Frazier, get out here. I'm like, Dad.
Not Frasier. Also, you're going to hate the outro of this podcast. I will just say that.
I hate everything about this. No, I'm joking.
Oh, fair.
No, I'm joking.
So,
yeah, I don't know how I do it.
So, well, and are you doing this tomorrow or tonight? Or do you know?
I think I'm going to go meet up with a friend when I get there.
Okay.
And we're probably going to like smoke a joint or something and
Yeah.
probably do a little intel. I don't know.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know. Probably, I guess because it's later than I anticipated, or like just the day started later than I
Sure.
anticipated. It might be a tomorrow thing.
But you're thinking house, just at his house, probably.
His apartment. I don't
Or
know.
his apartment.
I don't know that he lives in an apartment, but I know me.
Yeah.
It's that whole confronting him and he doesn't have
yeah.
a job either. Be like, hey, why aren't you at work? Why aren't you at work?
Oh, that is the thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, whenever like correctional officers, they're like we're looking for contraband. Thing is, you have to think like an inmate.
Yeah.
And you're like, I already am an inmate.
Yeah.
And I already know.
Check. And then you've got some deputy over there that's like trying to thug himself out.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, come on, what would I do right now?
Oh, dude.
Where would I put that toothbrush? Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna go with the flow of it. My mind is open, but I also don't. I don't want to be. I've seen so many confrontations between estranged parents and kids where like the kid just sounds like a cocksucker. They're like to this
Yeah.
old person that's clearly this boogeyman in their mental closet, and you're
Yeah.
just sitting there like, well, where were you? Well, where? And I've already lived a hard enough life, more hard than anybody knows, and it's like, again, over the last 3 years, my life has been excruciatingly difficult for stuff I don't want to go into.
Sure, of course.
But having gone through all that has also prepared me more for this.
Okay.
That's why I'm more ready also, is because shit, dude, I know if I had a baby right now, I would think about leaving.
I respect
think
you saying that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd
that's-
leave. I don't think I'd leave. I think I would weigh the option.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of strength for you to say that. I think that's a lot of honesty too.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
dude,
you being honest.
I fucking get it, man.
Yeah.
I literally, I take care of my mom, and it's like she works, but there's a lot of things behind that, and there's, it's something that like, geez, to add a kid into this,
Damn.
dude, and it's
Yeah.
like I pride myself on being a selfish person. It's one
Dude,
of my
respect, yeah.
it's one
Well,
of my
you're
very
a comic,
favorite-
so.
and I've always been an only child and stuff. So
Okay,
it's like
yeah.
just natural. I didn't even know I was selfish until I started hanging out with other people. But yeah, it's not. What were we? Sorry, I get high.
Well, I think I forgot too. No, what were we saying? Well, I was asking you about if you had a plan of where, when.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like
Are you thinking just like him walking out the door? And
literally
just being like,
that was
hey,
the image.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I would be like David.
Is that it? Is David? I was gonna ask. I didn't know if you wanted to say
David Dalton.
Dave Dalton.
Yeah, I kind of want to be like, I don't know. It's something, again, I keep going back to it, but it's just going to be like, I'm going to be sitting there and I won't have a plan, but if he walks out the door, I'm going to be like, jump.
Yeah, of
And,
course.
And just, I'm going to get out of the car and I'm going to just force myself to talk.
Also, I think there's something psychologically about driving that far to do it.
It's only 3 hours, Zach. Don't be a pussy.
But you're jumping off the cliff, dude.
Yeah.
You're committing.
Yeah.
You're going out there. Dude, it's
Wouldn't it be funny if you found out that I was like cool with my dad? I just wanted to be on your podcast and like get y'all. What if I'd be like, oh, Doug is nope. Y'all were right about Doug. He is a piece of shit.
no, I could tell you didn't have a
He
dad.
also borrowed. Okay. That's
oh fuck! I'm sorry, dude.
So, no, that makes me think a little side note, and remember
Yeah,
where we were.
of course.
But there's this documentary called Jack of All Trades on Netflix, and it's about this. Starts out as why the baseball industry, tumbled. Baseball card industry tumbled because it was such a prominent thing in the 80s and 90s. Like it was gold. Like
Yeah, I was going through my cards the other day.
I was last night. I'm cleaning my mom's place.
Nice.
But yeah, so the documentary starts about this guy. He's like, my dad ran a prominent, baseball card shop in Miami during the boom, and then like the whole thing busted and the industry tumbled, and then my dad left, and it starts out like it's legitimately just about baseball cards, and then there's this his friend that's doing it with him, that's the cameraman, and then at a certain point, he does like a confessional by himself, and he's like, all right, this isn't about baseball cards at all. Yeah, bro. He's like, Kevin's always such a little bitch, and we're pretty sure it's not like a mockumentary or anything. He's just like a douchebag friend, and he's always such a bitch, and we're pretty sure it's because his dad's not in his life, because like most of his problems are like baseball card related, and the fact that his dad, and so it's like slowly throughout the movie the cast and crew are like, yeah, sure, whatever, Kevin, is that a Rafael Palmeiro rookie? And he's like, dude, this place is crazy, and he's like, what do you think about your dad? And he's like, why are you talking? Like the whole thing is just absurd. And when I saw that too, it was meta, and it was like fourth walled, because
I love a fourth wall getting broke down.
So
good.
like a mental one for me, because I'm like, that's probably why people know that I don't have a dad. It's 'cause I act like that all the time.
You.
No, but that's something that people have razzed me for before.
Really?
Yeah, just there's little things you can tell about people. Like you can tell certain girls have dad issues and stuff like that.
Or like you said about me, you could tell I was the youngest.
The youngest.
Gay. And gay? You think am I?
You're the youngest gay.
I'm the youngest gay man alive.
I'm the youngest gay, and I object. The youngest gayest lawyer.
Oh, nice. Dude. Well, yeah, and also, here's the thing, too, is I think, obviously, like, it's not ideal for anybody, but there's something to be said about your strength moving forward is maybe
super speed.
Dude, it may be like a super, like, you know how like when people go blind, their hearing is just phenomenal. Like your strength to deal with adversity is probably like a lot better than mine. Like, cause my dad was always around. Like I talked to him today.
Like too much. Like he's always around.
Well, I kind of pushed him away a lot earlier in my life, but
did you have both your parents around?
Yeah, but I was just a piece of garbage.
Yeah, I can tell.
And buddy. But yeah, so like I think just not having that level of adversity, well, I'm thankful. I would never change it, but I'm not ready to deal.
It's one of those things that's like
if my Wi-Fi goes down for 5 minutes, I will kill myself. No, like I'm not tough.
But at the same time, you don't necessarily need to be tough in that way. You're tough in other ways that matter. Like your strength is like socially, you go out there and and it's like a small thing, but it's like that kind of thing is not something that you worry about, like the adversity stuff, because like those are inherent problems that are like weird problems, like money problems and stuff.
Sure.
Like those are different than, like, it doesn't really help you or hurt you, because But it does drive some people. Some people it does drive.
Oh, of course. Like, you ever see the NBA?
But yeah. Dude, hey, look, that's not PC, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's more of a Mac.
Oh, would you say it was kind of problematic or? Sorry.
I would never say that.
I'm sorry.
No. What were you just saying?
Well, we were talking about how I was trying to put
what was the joke you made? That'll
positive spin on you not having a dad.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, you don't need adversity. See, on the same way that the adversity fuels me, things in your life fuel you. Like you have two older brothers that probably do somewhat well.
Yeah, I actually have one of them that I heard from the first time in like 10 years.
But
it wasn't
in their lives, do they?
Yeah.
So little things like that subliminally just as much as my adversity drives me, competition will drive you in the in the view of your parents, and that's like that's a thing that I can't relate to.
Sure.
Because it was just me and my mom.
Yeah.
So it's like, no matter what, it's very Jeff Goldbloomy, but life finds a way, and it's not in the way that he means. But no matter what, if you're meant to be that person that literally picks up the fuel and puts it in the car, that's all the differences.
Yeah. That's a great point, dude.
Some people with bad upbringings have bad lives.
Yeah. Some people with great upbringings are fucking serial killers.
Or they have great lives, or they have bad lives.
They just kill it.
Yeah. Which sucks, dude. I do hate them.
Yeah, that is the worst.
Yeah.
When they just nail it. Dude, first of all, I can't imagine the strength that it would take to do this, though.
Yeah, I benched 200.
Oh, really?
No.
Damn.
No,
How many? What's your
I have no
max?
idea what I could max right now. In high school, I can't remember what I maxed. It was not a lot. I was a big guy, but I was not, I was big and I looked strong, but I was not as strong as I looked.
You seem like a infield guy. I'm saying third.
First, left-handed.
Oh, lefty.
Yeah, I was a left-handed catcher up until high school, and
But
they
you
weren't
could hit
allowed
too
in high
good,
school.
probably.
I was
Fast hands to the zone, I'm guessing.
No, I was an okay hitter, but I was an excellent defender. But you can't be a left-handed catcher because there's blind spots,
Obviously. Also the extra rotation.
Yeah, I mean everything.
it's
But
awful.
I played a couple games throughout high school, maybe 8 to 10 games. I started sporadically throughout high school, and I would throw people out at third, which is why they say left-handed catchers can't be. It's like if you can find a way around the blind spot, like arm angles, because that's how I ended up blowing my shoulder out. Anyways, was throwing I throw a 3/4 and I drop. I have a very weird throwing motion, and so I would be able to throw, not every time, but I could throw through that blind spot a lot.
Damn.
But I was a better fielder, and I was a decent pitcher. I could hit mid 80s, not higher than that really, but
That's still so, dude.
I mean, but that was mechanics
good.
too. If I could throw, if I had a dad that taught me how to throw.
Wow,
dude, I've
bringing
thought
it
about
back.
that. I've thought about
Nice.
that. The same thing. I was like my best radar was 85, and if you're a left-handed pitcher and you can hit 88,
Yeah.
whereas you have the same skill set exactly as a right-handed pitcher,
Yeah.
that same right-handed pitcher with your same skill set has to hit 92 in front of his
Yeah.
so it's
great.
like I was 3
I think
miles.
that's Greg Maddox, right? 88 fastball.
Yeah, and he's right-handed.
Fuck.
Yeah, so that's like a very rare, guy to be in the leagues for that long. So I always did keep that in my mind. That was one bitter thing I had against my dad. I was like 3 miles per hour away.
You son of a bitch, dude.
From being the Cubs farm system
nice.
for 2 years.
For being Henry Rowengartner, you son of a bitch, dude.
Look, dude, all right, that's a great reference too.
Thanks, dude.
So
this is going to also, are you gonna are you gonna audio record it or anything like that, or
see, I don't
do you
know.
want to have the memory?
Again, I might do something like this, like my hand recorder.
Sure.
But I also have a GoPro. And I was thinking I could walk up with a GoPro helmet and be like, David, it's me, Doug.
Oh, dude. I think the way that you're approaching it,
his first words are gonna be like, Doug, who I bet, because I don't look like I'm.
Oh, you think so?
He wouldn't recognize me if he saw me.
That was gonna be a question I was gonna ask.
He didn't stop in traffic when he cut me off.
The name Doug.
Yeah, if I said yeah, he'd be like, man, I used to get high with a guy named Doug.
Have you seen him?
No.
Like, have you seen a picture of him or anything?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll know what he looks like.
Does he look like you? Do you look like him?
He's a Chinese fella.
Oh, really? Nice.
He's a Chinese.
First. Oh, nice.
Sorry for that accent. That's my dad. It gets me all emotional.
Dude, I think honestly with this podcast, you could probably get away with murder.
That's
because you're being so open and honest, you know?
See, this is how I know I'm not a real human, because is this more... Yeah, I'm never this honest, and I don't talk about stuff like this with people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I don't make jokes when I do try to talk like this, so it's a little bit more like uncomfortable.
It's weird. It is a weird, yeah.
Because like this is not that uncomfortable because I'm keeping it light naturally.
Sure.
Because like even if I wasn't talking about a heavy subject, I would be doing the same thing that I'm doing now. Just like when you said I am, and I was like gay or something.
Yeah,
a
right.
minute ago, and that was brilliant of me. And I would always.
That
That was a classic gaff. That was a classic gaff.
That was pretty fire, dude.
That was good.
I'm not gonna lie.
Nobody's ever done that.
Nobody's ever made a gay
I know.
joke.
Yeah, I've never.
What a pioneer.
I've never heard it. I'm always just like, really, that's gay.
What do you think he's funny?
Dude, again, I think. So from what I hear about him, everybody says he was a very nice guy. Like I heard, like my grandparents thought he was kind of dumb, but they were very smart.
Okay.
And kind of like looked down, sort of smart.
Okay. All right.
Whereas my uncle, my mom's brother, said he was just like more clueless.
Okay.
Like he was sort of like he didn't realize the gravity of having a young child. Like,
Sure.
and like he loved me, and it was like he's like his crazy thing is he would always just like he would never let you out of his sight and all that stuff. But he just seemed like he didn't realize the gravity of it all. And then one day, I think it just became so much pressure that he left. But, it put my mom, and again, with not getting into that.
Sure, you don't have to go into
But it
anything you don't want to.
ruined her life. Like she worked her ass off to make sure that growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up, I didn't turn into,
Yeah.
a dickhead or go to jail, because I didn't grow up in good neighborhoods ever.
Yeah.
Except when I was summer with my grandparents. Like every summer I'd go to my grandparents and stay for like 3 months.
Yeah.
But other than that, we were living in like sketchy, not crackhead neighborhoods, like that's where I live. That's where I live as an adult.
Yeah, of course.
Gentrification
Yeah.
wasn't as effective then.
Get some.
But
that is impressive, because you've turned out to be like stand-up guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
By that, I mean a
yeah.
comedian.
Oh, yeah, no. No, to my mom's credit, like, it's amazing that, because I'm an asshole, it's amazing that I didn't get into more trouble. And it was like a lot her and her, scaring me in a good way and a bad way, like unnaturally scared of people, but also unnaturally scared of people in situations.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's like, I can get over it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I could have that game of catch with the copy of Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Honestly, if it happens with anything less than disc 2 of Field of Dreams, like the Ray Liotta commentary, if I'm not tossing that with my dad by the end of the day,
The
if it's
special features,
he's
dude?
like, I've got gloves and a ball. I'd be like, look, if you don't have Ray Liotta special features, if you know the special features of Ray Liotta, not coked up, and he's just talking about baseball.
Nice.
Can you imagine that? He's just like less energy.
I can't imagine Ray Liotta not coked up.
Yeah, or at least acting like he's coked up, like everything. Right. But so how did I get to that point?
Well, I do have one final question, which is, does she know? Does your mom know about what you're about to do? Is she in the loop?
No. Because my mom is like, I don't tell her when I do most things, because she's the type that when I moved up to Houston, when I moved back up to Houston from Corpus, I didn't even tell her I was moving in with her. Because if I did, she would have called me every 4 hours and said, you can do this, this needs to be done, like all that stuff.
Right.
And I was just like, it's better to keep her out of the loop, because I'm very much an impulsive. If I get the vision to something, I act on it.
Yeah.
And I don't really want people, slowing me down. And so
I respect that.
Yeah.
I appreciate. I think that's a great quality.
So
dude.
with this, she thinks I'm in San Antonio doing a podcast tomorrow.
Okay.
Because if it turns out, I mean, it's not going to turn out great for her. That's
Sure.
my main thing. It's like, it's no matter if I end up having a real game of catch with my father or not, at the end of the day, my mom has suffered immeasurable hell because she had to do it alone, and she sacrificed her life, and she doesn't think she's good enough to date people, because all sorts of stuff. And it's just like she never was able to move on, and she was, she had points where she was actually physically harmed because she was doing it alone.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
So
I can't imagine.
Yeah, so it's like, no matter, that's the thing that's going to happen, I think, in the end of this, is I'm going to talk to the guy, and I'm going to find out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get his perspective. So it's like I have half of a story. I have, like, of my life. It's like, of the early part of my life, I have like spark notes, and I need to read the whole book.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, and so it's like, the main thing is like, I'll know, and I'll have talked to him, and if something blooms and we keep in touch and we even are in each other's lives, that's great. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to remember what my mom went through. I'm always going to remember that she did it alone, and I'm going to remember that my life was rough because of it.
Yeah.
Rougher than any of my friends and rougher than anybody in my family. Like out of my entire family, like my mom's side, I don't know anybody on my dad's side of my family also. Like he's got relatives that I don't know. I haven't met since I was a baby. And so my mom's side of the family, everybody's pretty well balanced, and I'm just like the only child and the only one that doesn't know both, doesn't have both parents. And so it's like, it affected my life. And again, 3 miles per hour away from a fastball that was ready for the Peoria Cubs.
Dude.
Peoria Cubs, they've been like, he's
Spring
lefty.
training,
He's
dude.
like, most pitches are 84, but he can get up to 88.
Yeah.
If there's like a sexy
game
girl.
speed?
Yeah, game speed's a different deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like little things like that, I'm not going to hold against him that I didn't make it to the major leagues. But at the end of the day, I am going to say, my mom, her life, that's
So it'll never be peaches and Hallmark cards. It'll never be even best case scenario.
No, because my mom, as sweet as she is, done some, pretty, some things.
Okay.
We have some things between us as well that are like very, very much something that, they're very big issues. So it's like, but I love her to death, and I'm making, if I got an offer tomorrow to go do stand up or go be on a show for NBC, I would have to have guaranteed money to say yes, because that's how important it is to me that she doesn't get to a point where she dies poor and alone. And she's not, she is where she is, and we're all better now, but she, that's my goal as soon as I got back, and all of a sudden, because I was gone for 10 years, or I was gone for 8 years. I moved to Corpus when I was I moved back to Corpus when I was 18, and then I moved back to Houston from Corpus when I was 26, or 27. So it's like from high school until 4 years ago, I didn't really talk to my mom that much either.
Right.
So it's like, I realized how I came back, and my mom's much older, and life's not been kind. And she's just a sweet person, and she doesn't do drugs and none of that. I mean, like literally no vices. And she's just the sweetest person, and she's just scared of the world. She always has been. She's very timid, and so.
I mean, well, that happens when you get burned so badly, right? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm
roasting her up, dog.
I'm talking. I don't know.
I'm joking.
I'm talking. But I think it says a lot about you as a person that you're going in there, for lack of a better term, kind of just open-minded.
Sure.
Like always, the real shit is going to be in the back of your head, and you're never ever going to forget that. But you're not going in there with like fists of fury.
5 years ago, I was an angry person. Like, I'm still a pretty angry person. Like, generally, I'm a pretty on edge guy. But 5 years ago, I didn't realize that my anger was such an issue, and I was angrier.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I wouldn't do anything with my life,
Sure.
and I was just disappointing people. And so, if I had confronted it 5 years ago, I think, the first bad thing I heard, I would have probably flown off the handle. But now it's like he could say all sorts of things, which I don't think he will.
No, yeah.
I think he's probably just like, not the smartest guy, and he got himself in a situation that was too heavy. But that's, again, being almost 30 now with a less than desirable trajectory so far. Not going forward, but the path here has not been super desirable.
Well,
I know how decisions are made. I know how shitty and slimy and disgusting decisions are made, because you get desperate, and you get to a point where life,
you do shit you're not proud of, right? I mean,
and I mean, then it's hard, man. I imagine, and I've thought about that too, I imagine every 2 years that goes by, it's harder to go look at a face that you've completely abandoned, grown up more and more.
Yeah, sure.
Because I look at my cat No, I'm serious. I look at my kitten, who never been a cat person, and this is the first animal that as an adult I've raised from being a kitten to a cat. And so she gives me these little looks, and I was just like, she's so sweet and cute. And then she's staying with my mom now, and I'm staying, somewhere else. And so I'll go back 3 weeks, and she's a little bit bigger, and she'll look at me a little bit different. And I'm just like,
wow,
I'm just like, man, I bet, I don't say it every time, but I've thought, I bet that's probably where a lot of the, once you got a kid that's 18 or something that you haven't talked to, it's like, how do you keep calling? The funny thing is, he used to call me on my birthday every year up until I was like 13, but he would also, That's why I don't think he's a very smart guy, because he would also call me on his birthday.
Nice.
But it's also kind of sweet because it's
Yeah.
like it is, but it's like I think it also seemed like he didn't know, because like I think one year he missed my birthday but called on his, and they're like a month
That's
apart,
tough, dude.
yeah. He's like,
that's
well, this was great, man. Thank you for the birthday, buddy. And I guess I'll talk to you next year.
Oh wow,
No, he
yeah.
didn't. I mean, so I think he's just. I don't think he's like a villain. I think a lot of people in situations, but a lot of people villainize their father that hadn't been around because they experienced him at one point in their lives, and he's just a guy that I always wanted to be there that wasn't.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think he's gonna be uncaring either. I think he's gonna be. I imagine there will be tears and stuff like that. I know there's gonna be some queers because
Tears. I love that band, Tears for Queers.
Yeah, I've never heard them, but
Oh yeah.
but I say we cuck them and take over that band.
I think they do the song Macho Man.
That's
Yeah.
Randy Savage.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Dude. Yeah.
the Slim Jim guy.
The Slim Jim anthem. Dude. Well, this so but we kind of, you know, would you mind coming back for doing a follow-up part 2?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, the only way I can't imagine, after talking about it and stuff, it doesn't seem nearly as daunting to talk about something like this.
I'm very, dude. I'm
Yeah,
so glad that.
So even if it goes
yeah.
poorly, I couldn't imagine not being in the mood to do a part 2, because I need exposure.
Well, I'm not gonna be like, well, you said you do a part 2.
Yeah, I need exposure, not as a comic, just as a potential son if this doesn't work out.
Nice.
It's all those daddies listening out
Nice.
there.
I'm a free agent.
Yeah. All right. So who's coming? Powerade? No, thank you. Jeff is Gatorade.
God, dude. Yeah. I really appreciate you sharing and opening up.
Yeah, I'd love to be back. We'll figure that out. Yeah.
Selfishly, I just we've known each other for a long time, but I feel so honored that you would trust me with talking to me about it. Even
Dude, that's one of the things that I like about you is there's that's why I said earlier you're very cool. That's why I knew you had older siblings and that they probably weren't total losers, because you can always tell when somebody knows how to talk to people or they're easy to talk to, and I think you're gay. No, I mean, you have that quality of like, hey, buddy.
Oh, dude, big hey, buddy vibes, dude.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, and it's like, so I guess that's my my inner needing my father acting up
great.
once again. I'm like, I love Zach because he reminds me of what I think my dad should be.
Oh, dude, anytime. I'd be honored.
I seriously think you're super easy to talk to, and like I said, it's not very hard when we hang out to bullshit and have a good time.
Right. I never have a bad time.
Yeah. So I mean, this is great, and like I said, we'll see how the weekend goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I don't imagine it's going to be an issue at all because, again, for how many average listeners do you have?
It goes up and down. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
it
so
hasn't really grown.
That's okay.
A whole lot since the quarantine. But I mean, the numbers.
Have you had a spinoff episode yet?
No, this is the first.
So
this is episode 21, I believe.
So I'm thinking 21A and 21B,
yeah,
maybe 25%. So 8 followers will do the second one. They'll see the rest of the stuff.
Oh well,
I think one slutty chick is going.
The numbers are better than that. I'll tell you that.
Sure,
I know this.
That's why I did it so low. Yeah, because I didn't want you. That's why when you were about to say the numbers, I was like, I didn't mean to ask you your viewer numbers.
I thought about it.
No, you don't do that.
I know that other podcasts I've talked to, they're like, well, because I don't know what's good or bad, and they're like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't.
Also, how about this? For one reason or another, I have a few very loyal listeners in the Czech Republic. If you're listening to this and you're in the Czech Republic, fucking reach out to me. And why?
You know what the Czech Republic has the best of?
What's that?
Porn.
Oh, they're gonna say Chex Mix. I was gonna turn off the podcast. I did hear that though.
That would have been no, dude. Yeah, amateur porn, POV amateur porn. It's always Czech girls, Czech POV.
Nice.
They're always so hot. They've got you remember you see Lethal Weapon 2?
No.
That was one of my first nude scenes I watched with older men.
Nice.
Like, I don't know if that's a thing that I don't
Rite
know
of
if
passage.
I don't know if other people did that regularly afterwards, but
Yeah.
I remember I was watching Lethal Weapon 2 with my uncle.
Well,
Matt.
you never forget your first.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
And I was a man after. I remember we were in Victoria and we were at my Uncle Max's place. My Uncle Max and then my grandfather and me, and we were watching Lethal Weapon 2. And there's this like blonde South African chick that's real skinny and has just like the best boobs, and they look like little swirls of ice cream.
Dude, I've never seen you this passionate before.
Dude, I am like actually I forgot you were here for a second.
Oh man, dude, you love this woman.
Dude, this is one of my first subsequent Google searches too, because
Oh, nice.
the timeline of that.
Do you know her
the
name?
internet, I can't remember, but
I will. How about the South African girl from Lethal Weapon 2
Would get
sponsor the pod?
dude,
Come on the pod.
She's still hot, and she's like 50 now.
Wow.
She has like little raindrop ice cream boobs, but she's like
Drop
super
top.
fit. Yeah, drop topping it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was my. And I remember my uncle was like, "You probably shouldn't see this," and I was like, "It's probably okay." And then we watched it together. And then like after that, for some reason, my grandpa thought it was cool because whenever we went to the like Hollywood Video, we would go like once a week. He would not double check what I was renting.
Oh, nice.
I was renting
that's the
absurd
best.
shit. He came in during the movie Judgment Night with Emilio Estevez. He's like, "What is this?" Like every curse word possible.
Nice. Respect. All right, dude. Well, fuck. So there may be a part 2. If there's not, please respect Doug and don't hit him up. Don't ask him about it.
What happened
You
to your
respect
dad?
his privacy.
Well, hey, just keep an eye on my profile pictures.
yeah.
If you have one of me tossing a Blu-ray special edition copy of Field of Dreams,
a catch at all.
that's probably going to be a premise now. I just love that.
That's great.
Yeah, I do like that a lot.
Dude, this is a lot
That's why I record.
a lot of gold. Yeah.
Because
well,
I found out podcasting gets a lot of material.
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on, buddy. Of
course.
And
now I'm going to judge you.
well, that's fine. We can do that.
When you do your ending thing.
Oh no, I added it in post, but I'll play it
Okay.
for you. You can hear it. All right. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Love you.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Oh fuck. You want to do your plugs real quick?
Oh yeah. All right. So on
forgot.
Instagram it's Doug Dalton Comedy. Sorry, it's at Doug Dalton Comedy on Instagram. No, because
Gotta throw it in.
my old email was it's.dougdalton@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And so I'd tell people, I'd be like, it's Doug Dalton, and they'd be like, Doug Dalton.
Yeah.
And so
That's tough.
Doug Dalton Comedy on Instagram. I think it's Doug S. Dalton on Twitter, Doug Dalton on Facebook, and then Filth Comedy on Instagram. I run a show in Houston once a month. That is a safe place from safe places, because you can kind of tell that it's just kind of how I talk, just kind of a little absurd, but somehow acceptable in the moment.
I will say this: you have a real devil may care attitude.
Yeah,
which I
and that's
appreciate.
kind of what that's kind of the shit that I try to impart on the show. But it's me and Nick Palermo that host it once a month. We
Shout
roast
out.
the crowd up front, and then you just hear anything. But it's Filth Comedy Show on Venmo.
Hell yeah. On Venmo. Nice. Let's get that out there. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Love you. Bye.
Hey baby, I hear the blues are calling. Tossed salads and scrambled eggs. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're calling again. Scrambled eggs all over my face. What is a boy to do?
Now let me see if I understand you. The problem I think you said.